What's up, guys? How are you doing? This is Car Wyne, and yesterday I was watching Myanmar Idol, the grand final. It was pretty exciting, and I've been watching Myanmar Idol for days for that. And then at first I didn't know who the contestants were, and then after a while I was, the connection was built because I've been watching them for a very very long time. And then everybody has their own opinions, right? Because there are lots of contestants and they have their own fan base. So there are lots of fans, each one of them has lots of fans, but the ones who have the most fans won the competition. So yeah, yesterday there was one champion, and the rewards were pretty good. So anyways, so everybody has their own opinions, right? So what I noticed was, even though they had their own opinions, they don't notice, most people don't notice that others have their own opinions as well. So you can't put your opinions on others just because you have your own opinion, right? So in terms of business, what most people do is they make this single this is a mistake that is pretty common, that almost everybody does it, not just in business, not just in personal life. In every single thing that they do, they make this common mistake. That mistake is that they put their opinions, their ideas and their opinions on every other person. They think that every person should agree with them, or they think that just because they are not going to buy some things like that doesn't mean that everybody else is not going to buy that, right? So let's supposedly say that for me, like 3 days ago, I was helping my dad with the family business, and then I told my dad about offers, how to create offers, and then I took like 3-4 days to create 3 days, yeah, 3 days to create an offer to sell in our business. So after creating that offer, then after a while I told him about that, and he said no one's gonna buy that. And I was like, why not? And you are not a customer, right? Because my dad is not a customer, because I'm not going to sell it to him, right? When you're creating an offer, or when you are doing some sales message, or when you are telling some stories or something, you always have to find the right customer. And also, you can't put your opinions on others, because you are not the customer, right? The market has to decide. It's not you. You are not going to buy that, but your market might buy that, right? So you are not a customer, so you don't have the right to decide whether you're going to buy or not. But I'm not talking about my dad, right? Sorry, dad. I'm not talking about my dad. I'm talking about every single one of you guys, right? Even me. I made mistakes because I was assuming that just because I'm not going to buy this single thing doesn't mean that not everybody's going. Everybody, not ev- just because I'm not going to buy this single thing, everybody, there's someone who's going to buy that. Gosh, why was it so difficult? Yeah, so yeah, that's the point, guys. So another example would be like, there was this business person. I don't know his name anymore. So he's a pretty good guy now, and he's pretty famous. I don't I don't remember his name, but before he started out, before he became famous, when he started out, what he did was he created an awesome product, right? So he told me that story, and he has created an awesome product. So when he created a product, he sold it to the market. So when he sold that to the market, everybody else didn't buy, right? So just a little bit of his customers bought it, and he wasn't satisfied, and he was taking lots of time thinking that why didn't everyone buy that? It's an awesome product, right? It's so valuable. He gave lots of value, but still no one bought it. That's because the perspective of value is different. Now, just because it is so valuable for you doesn't mean that it's valuable for others, right? So let's supposedly say that I took lots of time and put in lots of effort to write a book, right? I gave everything that I know, and I wrote everything that I could in that single book. So my whole life, I put in lots of effort to write this single book. So it is pretty valuable for me, right? But if I go up to the stranger and then I say, I'm going to sell you this book for $100 because this book is so valuable for me, he's not going to buy it, right? That stranger is definitely not going to buy it, because it doesn't even worth $1 for him, even though it worth a lot more for me, because every person's value is different, perspective of value is different. So when you're selling something, make sure that you are asking your market what they actually want, right? Not just because you think that something is valuable and something is, you just because you think that you will pay for this doesn't mean that your market will pay for this, right? Just because you're going to pay for your product doesn't mean that your market is going to pay for your product. So you have to ask your market to know what they actually want, and then give them what they want, right? The process is actually simple, but most of us get complicated and confused, because in real life it isn't that easy, because even though it is simple, it is not easy to do. So actually you have to ask your market what they actually want. So when you're asking your market, Stephen Larson, one of the best marketers I have ever seen, he what he did was, when he started out, he asked the market what the market actually wanted. So he created a group, and then there are lots of, he has some audience, and then in that group he asked, what if I created this product? Are you gonna buy this? Right? He asked that, and then there were lots of answers, and then he went on and created that product. And then he asked, what would you like? Would you like it if I created this course? Right, the course of marketing, or the course to create offers or something. And then after the market, his customers, his audience said, yes, I'm gonna buy that if you create it. And then he created that, and then one of the methods that he used, and it is pretty genius, right? He created the product together with the customer that he was gonna sell. Now, what do I mean by that? What he did was, when he was creating a product, he was asking them, would you like it? What do you want the module 1 of this course to be? He asked that. He made a survey, and everybody else took the survey, and then when they answered, he was like, okay, then I'm gonna create this product because you asked for it, right? So the market asked for that product, and then he created the product, and then because he listened to the market, and because he knew what the market wanted, then he could actually create the product that the market wanted, and then he sold the product back to them. So he did exactly what the customers asked for them, and he sold it back to them, and he got lots and lots of sales for that. After creating module 1 of the course, he asked, what would you like for module 2? And then the customers, his audience, will say like, I want this, I want that, or I want the module 2 to be this, I want the module 2 to be that. And then he created that, and then he sold it back to them, right? There are some people who thinks like, after creating a product, who should I sell it to? Now, if you ask your market what they actually want, then you're gonna know exactly who you're gonna sell it to, right? Your market, of course, right? Others thinking like, I asked them what they want, and then I created this product. Now, after creating this product, who do I sell it to? You have to sell it to your red ocean again, right? You have created a blue ocean. After creating a blue ocean, you can't sell it to your blue ocean because you don't actually have a customer base yet, or you don't have your audience yet. So you have to sell it back to the red ocean that you come out of, so that you can attract the customers from the red ocean to come to your blue ocean and become your customer. Now, to be your royal customer, you have to give value to them. Now, again, I'm gonna remind you this again. Value doesn't mean that your value is the same as theirs, right? So when you're giving value, make sure that they are getting the value that they want, rather than you giving them the value that you want, right? So give them what they want, and then you can ask for money later on, right? So this is business, right? When you're giving value, you want something back. But if you give tons and tons of value, then they're gonna become loyal customers, and then you don't need to ask for lots of money, because you can just ask for a little bit of money, and then you're giving lots and lots of value, and people are gonna love you for that, and then they're gonna buy every single thing that you are gonna sell, right? So that is one method of doing business and selling things. And this is the most common mistake that everybody makes, because they think that just because they're not going to buy this, the others are not going to buy this too, right? So that's what they think. Now, one of the most common example, this is a pretty good example. So like when you go to eBay or Amazon, right, so you're gonna see some things like just this one cup, right, this cup, a really small cup, and you see that that cup was sold for about $100 or over $100. Now, why would you pay? Would you pay for that cup like for $100 or over $100 just for this cup? You're not gonna pay for that, right? I'm not gonna pay for that because that isn't worth anything to me, right? So, but why did someone pay for that cup for $100? Because they might be someone who's collecting cups, right? Cup collectors or such. There are people like that, and that is the right customer. I'm not the right customer for that cup market, but the cup collector is the right customer for that cup market, right? So another pretty good example would be like once, let's supposedly say that, right? So you imagine that you are walking on a desert and you don't have any clothes up, you you don't have any extra clothes. Gosh, right, you don't have any extra clothes, so you don't have any bags, and you are not carrying anything, you don't have water bottle, and you're just walking on a desert, getting tired, taking every single step, and every step just gets heavier and heavier, and you don't see anything at all in front of you or beside you, right? There's just sand, and there's no wind at all. It is very hard, and you're still walking and walking, and then suddenly you see a person standing right there with a table beside and a glass of water, just 250 milliliters of water, right? Just 250 milliliters of glass of water on the table, and you're pretty excited right there because you have been thirsty for about 2 hours and you still didn't find anything. So you're definitely going to get that glass of water, right? So you run for it, and as you run for it, you notice that there's $100 in your pocket. Wow, you're lucky. So you run for it, and then you get there, and then suddenly he said, I'm going to sell this for $100. That person standing beside the owner of the glass of water, just 250 milliliters of water, he's gonna say that I'm gonna sell this for $100. Then you're gonna be like, I'm gonna give you the $100, just take my money, give me the glass of water, right? Because that is so valuable for you. Now, if I give you 250 milliliters of water, now I'm not going to give you that. I'm going to give you 1 liter of water for $100. Are you going to buy that? You're going to slap the hell out of me, right? So that is the point, guys. Just because you're not going to buy 250 milliliters of water for $100 doesn't mean that others are not going to buy too. Now, that is just an example, right? So take that example, take that concept, and use it in your business. Ask your market what they actually want, and then sell it back to them. So yeah, that's all for today, guys. See you later. Share positivity always.